In Nigeria and the world at large, we're witnessing how different women from every part of the world are fighting for their basic rights as they struggle to be significant and to be seen as important members of the society. As the 2023 general election is fast approaching, there are a whole lot of topics that need to be discussed to ensure that people are well aware of what is going on prior to the electoral process. Today we have with me Maliya Ruth Manu from the Nigerian Women Trust Fund, who is a program officer that will be discussing some of these issues when it comes to women inclusion in politics. To go straight to the point here, when it comes to the issue of women in politics, a whole lot of women around the world are struggling to be part of a particular political system, but it seems like the men are not agreeing to it. They will come out and be like, oh, we're trying to engage women in this, we're trying to engage women in that, but then we do not see the result. As a result of that, women do not have a win-win situation. Like in Nigeria, a whole lot of aspirants and also incumbent leaders have come out to say, oh, we should have more women in politics. There is the gender bill which has been rejected, but then women are still not in politics. What's the problem? What's the issue?
Well, with regards to the Nigerian situation, I think Nigeria is more of an island in itself, because we've seen in other African countries that the percentage of women who are represented politically is not as bad as Nigeria. Nigeria actually is the worst in Africa. We have 4% of women in political office. In West Africa, we have 15%. In Africa, 22%. And the world generally, we have 25%, which shows Nigeria is lacking terribly. This is not an absence of interventions that has been put in by civil society organizations and even sometimes by the government. The government has a national gender policy, which was it committed itself to in 1995 at the Beijing Convention. It's established its own gender policy in a long time ago, I think 2004 or so. And unfortunately, that national gender policy has not been implemented. In the general policy, it states that 35% affirmative action should be given to women in both elective and appointive positions, but we found that to be lacking seriously. So again, I would say it's both a lack of will from the government that has affected the implementation, because if the government took the issue of women participation seriously, we would see that being duplicated in every sphere of government, in its appointments, in speaking with political parties to ensure that women come out as candidates, and other areas where women can be seen as leaders. But the government, as the leader in this move, has not shown a lot of will towards including women.
All right. Okay. Apart from the inefficiency from the part of the current government and other past governments that were current at their time, what other difficulties do women go through when they try to, run for a position, when they try to lead? What other difficulties, what other challenges, barriers hold them back or stop them at a point? Because you may start and then you lose somewhere and then you're like, how did that happen and why did that happen? So what other challenges do women go through in general?
So I think one would be the gender roles that have been placed on women in Nigeria. So most men would prefer to see men as their leaders than women being leaders. This does not mean again that women are not capable. It's just the roles that has been placed upon women to be more at home and not seen in the forefront. Again, we would see another barrier would be political parties that have ensured that men are always their candidates. So even though most political parties also have a form of, most political parties also would say in interviews or in paper that they want to include more women, we don't see it first of all replicated in their executive as in the political party. So we find women only hold offices of women leader or ex-official leaders. If the political parties are serious about this, they would ensure that women are holding serious positions. Nothing stops a woman from being a chairperson of a political party, but we don't see women holding critical positions in the political party. Another barrier would be traditional and religious barriers, misinterpretation of religious texts, and also traditional customs that have placed women also to be backburners instead of being at the forefront and vying for offices as they are supposed to. Another barrier also would be a lack of will, even from financial will from the on the part of women. A lot of women that are running for office don't have the resources at their beck and call to ensure that they contest at the same level that men are contesting. So they are mostly having challenges with finances. They don't have the money for proper campaigns. They don't have the financial capacity to also get good media coverage of their campaigns. This also affects their visibility and eventually they are winning electoral positions.
Okay, I was about to ask you about the financial issues that comes to, but not all women really have financial issues. We have people that are from rich, wealthy, rather, family backgrounds. What is the problem? What's their own issue?
Well, again, not everybody will be interested in politics to run for offices. So even where you have women that are financially capable, they might not be interested in running for offices. But that's where there is room now for mentorship, or the men have what we would call godfathers, even though they are not. It's not supposed to be so. But women do not have financial backers that would push them politically. That's for those that have women that have the money and are not interested to run for office, should be able to support other women that might not be financially capable but have interest in running for office.
Okay, so are you trying to say that women that have taken or have handled prominent positions like Okonjo-Iweala, they're not doing as good as they should do when it comes to supporting women that are upcoming, women that are trying to be like them?
Well, I will not go as far as calling names, since I'm not sure if she is doing anything to support women's political participation. But I would say women can still do more to support each other in terms of running for offices. This is being done, but there's still room for more to be done for women to support each other in terms of financial capacity.
Okay, so going further, some have tagged this as a conspiracy by the elites to ensure that they keep on pushing women down and down, keep on killing their, what should I call it, vibes? Keep on killing every spirit of optimism in them, like the gender bill. First off, what's the progress so far with the gender bill?
Well, since the protest we had at the National Assembly early this year, I think around March, from beginning of March almost to the end of March, the National Assembly promised to revisit the bill. That has not yet been done, but the Nigerian Women Trust Fund is very interested in gender bills and are trying to see how the bills can be brought back to the House before the end of their tenure.
From the past primaries that have been done, we've seen a very low count of women that have come out as aspirants, and then those that have come out are the candidates are picking them as deputies. Why do you think so? Is there any problem? Can you see any problem there? Can you see, like, is there like a pattern that these men are going through? Or let me not say men, that these people that have the upper hand are going through? Why are women always picked as, oh, deputies or assistants this or assistant that? Why are women not the ones leading forefront?
Well, again, I would say women are not, women have not been in charge for long, so they are still at the mercy of those who have been there for long, which would mostly be men who have been in those positions for long. In 2015, we had just 7 women in the Senate. 2019, we had 6 women in the Senate. 2023, we are looking at to see the number of women we would have, but it seems it's still going to be low because we just have about 90 8 women contesting for senatorial positions across the country, across the country, with some states not even having any female representation running as a senator. States like Kebbi, Kano, Bauchi, Taraba, Yobe don't have any female representation, so we'll still see a situation where we are, the 10th Senate is returning without female representation from those states. But those states where we have women running for offices, some states just one woman, which is still negligible compared to the number of men that are contesting. It makes her chances very slim. And the parties where women are also running is also very are not usually the prominent parties. So where we would see women in prominent parties, there are very few. So we'll still see the same, if not worse, women representation again. Again, it still boils down to the institutions and the system that is already in place, the political parties and the godfathers that be. Women would still not be represented. Until we have more women in those positions, we won't be able to see much change, because it's still the same circle of people that return to office or that have a say as to who runs for office. So we need more women there. That was what the 35% affirmative action suit was supposed to do. The Nigerian Women Trust Fund in 2019 took instituted an action in court challenging the federal government on its lopsided appointments, and challenging the courts to also state that the government is bound by its national gender policy and should ensure that the 35% affirmative action is implemented. Early this year, in April, the court granted judgment in favor of Nigerian women, saying that the government should enforce the gender policy and it should follow it and ensure that 35% is left aside for women. This judgment has been appealed by the federal government, saying it should not, it's just a policy, it should not be held responsible for that. But these are issues that we can see even from the federal government's part. This is a judgment that should have been lauded as a very good win for Nigerian women, but the government is appealing it. This shows that we still have a long way to go as Nigerian women.
And I feel it's quite sad that every day we see women struggling. Like I said earlier, we see women, at this point it seems like we're begging for our own rights. We're begging to be part of whatever is going on currently. It's not just in politics here, in every part of life. Like in Iran now, ladies and girls and women are protesting over the death of Mahsa Amini. May her soul rest in peace. But back to Nigeria, yeah. Recently, youth have been putting in this energy of, oh, we are ready to participate, we are ready to change Nigeria, we are ready for a different phase of, you know, the evolving world, the developing world. And I must say it's quite impressive. But it seems like their participation is just their political rights with reference to voting, just voting. And a whole lot of them are not interested or may not be interested in running for political positions. Now, I would like to be more precise. I'm still coming down. I would like to talk about the ladies in this category of people, this youth. I would like to talk about the ladies. Ladies in the age range of 25, yes. How do we get them to participate beyond voting? How do we get their attention? Because, you know, everybody or a whole lot of people have the assumption that politics is just a dirty game. Politics is dangerous. Politics may even involve life-threatening situations. But how do we change the mindset of these women? How will your organization work towards that?
Well, the Nigerian Women Trust Fund is we just concluded on Friday our leadership and ending violence, our National Institute on Leadership and Ending Violence Against Women and Girls, where we mentor young ladies on leadership and ending violence against women and girls. And we attach them to mentors who are successful women in different areas, politics, government, and different areas of the society. And they mentor these young girls on leadership, on speaking in public, and different areas of leadership. I think these are ways where we can get the interest of girls when they do and take part in issues like this. They are able to see that, okay, I have more to offer than just always being in the background or supporting other people. So I think it's just women understanding that politics is, everybody is affected by politics. Your little business in the market is affected by politics, because once people are elected into offices, they make policies that affect no matter how small your business is, it affects your family, it affects your children. The ASU strike that is ongoing is still politics, and the government, it affects every area of your life. So if we do not participate in it, not just voting, but also run for these offices, so we can also make input, we can make decisions. These are ways that we can get the interest of women and also make them run for offices.
Earlier when you were talking, you mentioned the word godfather. There's this practice, this act of godfatherism in the Nigerian politics. And then it seems like, oh, these people brought you into politics, so you're going to play according to how they want you to. What do you have to say on that?
Well, with few women who are in positions of power, I think sometimes it has to boil down to societal views and gender roles again. Most of them don't want to appear to be ungrateful or to be too forward, so that their parties, they will still contest in the next 4 years. So if they are seen not to be obedient, they would not nominate them, or they would not win their primaries to come out for another position. So they try to play it safe by ensuring that they don't offend anybody that might feel they should not allow them come out again. So I think it boils down to them trying to maintain the roles that is expected of a woman. She should obey, she should follow, submit to your superiors and the rest. Okay. So I think those are the roles that are being played. But we still find, again, some of these women are still, even though they might not be at the forefront, they still champion women causes. They still, I know the gender bills, the 111 seat bill was pushed forward by Honorable Nkiruka at the House of Representatives. And I know the Women in Parliament Committee is also actively pursuing to ensure that women's rights are being protected. So I think they might not be at the forefront, but they still do the little they can. But I think more education of people, not just women, also men should also be educated on the benefits of ensuring that women participate fully politically, and also ensure this is the only way our democracy would truly expand and be beneficial to everyone. We cannot run a democracy where a large number, Nigerian women population is almost about 50%, 40-something percent. So that's a large number of the society to not be involved or to not be on the decision-making table. We need to ensure that women are also there, so that the interests of women in Nigeria are protected. And also, women bring a lot to the table. We would see things from a different perspective from a man would see it. So maybe we need, or definitely we need, more women, so we can tackle the issues of Nigeria from different perspectives and see maybe we can get a better country.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that will be all. Thank you, Maliya, for joining us in the studio today. That was very enlightening, and I hope our viewers enjoyed it. And we hope that women actually do win this fight. Thank you very much.